Hi students, this is Maheshwar Reddy. In this class, I am going to explain about design process of embedded systems. Design process of embedded systems means various steps that are involved in building an application, embedded application are discussed here. See, what are the steps that are involved in building an embedded application? First, determine the requirements. First, you should determine the requirements. Determining the requirements means according to your application, you determine the requirements. What are the requirements you need to design an application? Application requirements. Next, design the system architecture. According to your requirements, you should design the system architecture. Next, I will explain each one in detail again. First, go through the steps. Next, selection of OS. After designing your architecture, you should select OS. If OS is required or not. OS is required means you should select the operating system where you want to build your code or you want to run your application. Next, choose the processor and peripherals. Next, you have to choose the appropriate processor and peripherals which are needed for your application development. Here, processor may be microcontroller or microprocessor or digital signal processor or application specific IC, anything. And peripherals. Peripherals may be ADC, DAC or sensors, etc. Next, choose the development platform. You should choose the development platform where you want to build your code. Here. Next, code the application and optimize. Next, you have to program your application. After programming your application, then what? Verify the software on the host system. In the host system, first you should verify your software. If there are any errors, you should debug it here and see for the errors. If no errors are present, then you should create an executable file in the host system and should transfer that executable file into the target system here. In the target system, you have to verify the software whether it's running perfectly or not. Here, your target system is where your application is built. And these are the various steps which are involved in designing embedded application or embedded system. Let us see each one in detail. See, what is the first one? Determining the requirements. See, a system may be functional and non-functional. You should determine your requirements depending upon your functional and non-functionality and define whether it is multi-function or multi-mode system. First, you have to decide whether your system is a multi-function system, is having multiple functionalities, or it is a multi-mode system, it is having some internal modes for operation. And when you determine your system size, cost, weight, etc. These are all comes under the requirements. You should first specify your requirements about the size of your system, cost of your system, weight of your system, etc. Other requirements. After selecting the hardware components. After you have to select the hardware components which are required for building your application. Application specific hardware and external interfaces. If your application requires application specific hardware means you will buy that application specific hardware from the market, and you also buy some external interfaces which are required. If, for example, if you want to monitor temperature, you need a temperature sensor. If you want to measure the light intensity, you need LDR. These are the external interfaces you need. If you want to sense the obstacles, then IR sensor is required or ultrasonic sensor is required. These are the external interfaces. You should buy all the hardware components from the market that you require. So here you will determine the requirements, what you required for building application. Next, that input and output devices. Next, design the system architecture. See, here after determining the requirements, you should design the system architecture. Your system architecture depends upon whether the system is real-time or not. That means you are building a prototype or a real-time system. Prototype means in prototype, time bounds are not there. Time bounds are not required. They are not time critical. But if you are building a real-time application, then you should strictly follow the time bounds. First, you have to determine that your system is a real-time system or you are building a prototype. And next, whether OS needs to be embedded in your system or not. That is, you require a OS or not. Operating system is needed or not. If your system is a multitasking system, then you need a OS. That is, the real-time system should need a OS. If you are building a prototype, there will be no need of OS because you are testing a prototype. No, there is no need of OS. You should determine whether OS is required or not. Next, you should analyze the size, cost, power consumption, etc. All things here while you are designing the system architecture. Next, selection of OS. If OS is required means you should select the OS. No. Your OS may be real-time OS or it may be non-real-time OS. Real-time OS means it is RT Linux, real-time Linux or VxWorks. These are all VRTX. These are all real-time operating systems which are available. These are used for building portable applications. Next, non-real-time OS. Your application may be non-real-time, where you use Windows operating systems, embedded Windows XP, etc. These are all non-real-time operating systems. These are real-time operating systems. You should remember one thing, that real-time operating systems will follow a specific time bounds. Non-real-time operating system does not follow any specific time bounds. These are time critical operations. Real-time OS will be used for time critical operations. Here, time constraints are not much required here, while you are using non-real-time operating systems. This decision should be taken here, whether real-time OS is required or non-real-time OS is required for your application development. Next, choose the processor and peripherals. We can select any one of the following. There will be microprocessor. If you're using microprocessor as your processing element, then you can choose 8085 or 8086 or Pentium or any other processor that is best suited for your application development. Next, coming to microcontrollers, it may be 8051 or PIC or AVR or MSP430 or TM4C123. These also, that depending upon your requirement, you can select any one of the microcontroller or digital signal processors like Blackfin, Shark, Tiger Shark, etc. Here you will choose the processor and you will also choose the peripherals. Peripherals such as sensors, temperature sensor, ultrasonic sensor or IR sensor, or you need a LCD for displaying. These are all decided here in this stage. Next, after that, choose the development platform. The development platform is the hardware platform where you want to build your application. Then the operating system, then the programming language. Programming language means whether you want to write your code in C language. C language is the mostly used for building embedded applications. Nowadays, Python, they are using Python. They are also using JavaScript for building embedded IoT applications. So you have to choose a programming language, whether you want to use C language or Java, or you want to use Python for building your embedded application. And next you have to choose the software development tools, where you want to develop your software. Yeah, so many development tools are there, like Keel. You can use Keel for your building your embedded software. You can use CC Studio, or you can use the Arduino software. You can use any software for building your software and creating executable file. After that, code the application and optimize. After choosing your software development platform, IDE, integrated development environment, what you will do? You will program your application according to the programming language you have chosen. It may be any language. It may be assembly language program or C language or object-oriented language, C++, Java, etc. Any. the help of any language, you code your application. Next, what you will do? Will verify the software on the host system. First of all, you should verify your software in the host system. Host system means where you are building your software code. That means where you are writing your software code is called as a host system. That may be your personal computer or your laptop. Then compile and assemble the source code into the object file. Next, what? Use a simulator and simulate the working of the system. You should check whether your code is working or not. Then verify the software on the target system. At last, after testing your code in the host system, what you will do? You will create executable file and you will transfer that executable file into the target system. Here, in the target system, finally, you will verify your program. So, download your program using a programmer device. Then, use an emulator or on-chip debugging tools to verify your software in the target system. This is about the design process of the embedded system and the various steps that are involved in designing an embedded application. Thank you. Thank you for listening.